What's up, nation? Today let's talk about the Diamond and Pearl remakes being confirmed and the title that no one was expecting, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Happy Pokemon Day, everybody. If you are a fan of this franchise, you absolutely have a bunch to celebrate today, as we got some incredible announcements regarding this franchise. And while I myself has not kept up with every single Pokemon title, especially a lot of the handheld ones over the years, I have always found myself as a fan of this franchise. I started collecting the cards as a kid, and since then I've played a number of the different titles that have come out, and I'm so excited to see what the Pokemon Company announced today, because not only did we get the Diamond and Pearl remakes confirmed, which we were kind of expecting due to a bunch of different leaks, there was one thing that was kept under wraps until almost right before the event when it did actually leak out, but that nobody was expecting to actually see today, and that is Pokemon Legends Arceus. So I want to share with you guys all my opinions on the direction that Pokemon is probably going to take the franchise going forward, and why I'm so pumped about them trying to take this on and go in a new direction for the series. Now guys, before we do hop into all those details today, I just want to quickly invite you all to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy the content today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming and console news, as we're in the new generation of gaming. But with that, guys, let's dive into the details. So just about any time we see new Pokemon games announced, we typically see a split reaction from the fan base, and that is just simply because there are so many hardcore fans of this franchise, and they're either typically happy with the direction that Pokemon Company is going, and they're pumped about the new titles, or they think they've changed them too much or not enough, so there's always a lot of back and forth on that. But we did see that again today with the announcement of the Diamond and Pearl remakes that were heavily rumored and that most fans were expecting to be at this event, and while we did get those announced, we absolutely saw a graphical style that is extremely similar to what the DS version looked like, and I think a lot of fans were expecting the more sword and shield style graphical appearance, or at least a Let's Go style graphical appearance, and that is absolutely not what they're doing. They are keeping the top-down formula, and it almost looks like if you up-resed the DS version of the game and put in a new, better texture pack that's HD, that's kind of what this game looks like, and it reminded me a little bit more of a Link's Awakening style remake that we saw, which was also very controversial at the time, as opposed to a from the ground up recreation. It does seem like they are going to keep this as a one-to-one remake, as they even kind of announced that at a certain point in the trailer, where they said that they were going to try to stick very close to the preserving the original feel of this game. And so I think it's a one-to-one remake. It is also not Game Freak that is working on this. It is a separate company, so I do think that there's less leeway for them to go make changes like you would typically see with a mainline Game Freak title. So I do think that that is something that we can expect to really enjoy. For me, I'm personally looking forward to this either way. I do get the backlash or some of the comments from the fans that were disappointed with the graphical style, because it honestly doesn't look very different from the DS version at all. For me, the reason that I haven't played through so many of the Pokemon games to begin with is because I simply have a very hard time putting hundreds of hours into a handheld style game. I've always been a console gamer or a PC gamer, and I like to have a big monitor in front of myself with a controller in hand, and you just can't quite simply recreate that on the DS. Even though it's nice to play on the go, it's always been harder for me to fully complete those games, whereas when we got the Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, and even Sword and Shield, I've put hundreds of hours into those games, as I had the ability to play them on the Nintendo Switch. So this will be my first time fully completing Diamond and Pearl in these remakes, and so I'm very happy with this announcement regardless of the graphical style, and I do think that it's cool that they're keeping it close to the original, but it also does clearly seem like less effort than would have been, put into something like recreating this in the Sword or Shield style engine. So it's a very split topic right now. I'm still just happy that we're getting these titles at the end of the day. They are going to be $60 a piece, so be prepared for that. I mean, it's something that any Pokemon title that, regardless of what they do to it, they could literally port over the exact DS version with the same graphics. It would still sell insanely well at $60 a piece when you have a franchise name like Pokemon. So I do think that, regardless of what we get, we should just be happy that we are seeing these games ported to the Switch and that we can play them in a console with a TV and a controller, and that is what I'm looking forward to the most out of this announcement. Now, to my surprise, I thought that was going to be the show closer, but I would be very wrong at that assumption, because right after that announcement, we got Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is quite clearly their attempt at a fully open world, more action-based version of a Pokemon franchise. Now, this is something that I think they will absolutely be testing the waters for to direct the series going forward if this game is received well by fans and if it sells well. Obviously, I think this is what they ultimately go for mainline Pokemon. It's possible that they always keep the traditional format of mainline and always have these as like a separate game, but with Game Freak actually developing this title and not the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I think it very clearly states that they're putting their biggest resources to this new direction, and this is very much going to potentially be the future of what we can expect for Pokemon titles. And I think it's fantastic because it's what fans have been asking for so long, a change up to the formula, a change up to the gameplay, and you see that right out of the gate where the camera does the same Breath of the Wild style pan that they did when they announced that first open world Zelda game, and it is very reminiscent of that for a specific reason, because this is the same step forward that the Pokemon Company is now taking for the first time. So I think a lot of fans were expecting that with Sword and Shield because it was the first Switch titles. Well, it looks like this is the first real stab that they're going to take at it. We saw the wild area in Sword and Shield, which was kind of open world, but it kind of wasn't at the same time. It just had more free camera controls and things. So when I saw the trainer do a dodge roll and then throw a Pokemon ball at a Pokemon that was in the grass, I was like, okay, this is brand new. I was immediately blown away that they're actually doing something that's so different from the traditional formula. Now, there is a lot of questions out there to still be answered on exactly what this game will all entail, but it does look like you're going to have the option to battle Pokemon still. My personal theory on this is you can probably throw the Pokeball and just catch a lower leveled Pokemon, or especially if you're sneaking up on them or something like that. And then I think we see where you have to encounter the Pokemon and battle them if they are a higher level Pokemon and attempt to capture them after you have damaged them enough. So I do think that makes a lot of sense for the style of gameplay that they're going to go for with this, and it definitely looks like it's something where, you know, they could branch out into different side quests and they could do all types of things with the story. It does look like you're creating a Pokemon Dex from the ground up in this region, and so it's something that it's kind of like a prequel and you are discovering the Pokemon in this region for the first time. So I think that's a great, compelling story to go for. We have to wait until 2022, and it definitely did look early, which is one thing that also fans are talking about. It looks like the base of the game looks fantastic, but they need to touch up a lot of the graphical details, which with them having over a year left of development time, we will absolutely see this game look better and be upgraded. And then I even have a further theory on what I think will go along with this game, and that is by some point by the end of this year or into the early part of next year, I think we see a Switch Pro, and I think we absolutely get a Pokemon Legends Arceus version of that Switch Pro. And I think that this is one of those titles alongside of Breath of the Wild 2 that will actually sell this new version of the console, because who isn't going to want to play these open world games and these giant games in 4K and maybe even a 60 frames per second frame rate versus it being something where you play it on 1080p and you're probably lucky to get a 30 frames per second out of these newer titles. So I think this is again lining up with what we're going to expect as far as the Switch Pro and new hardware towards the back half of this year and into next year. And it's just the Pokemon Company having another system seller that's going to come out, and if you do a special edition of any sort, whether it just be the dock or the console itself that's customized, it's absolutely going to move units for both collectors and new fans and existing fans alike. So I would give this event a 10 out of 10. I mean, it was only a 20-minute presentation, and I felt like every single portion of the presentation I was plugged in and excited for what they were announcing. So I definitely think that it's reignited my spark for the Pokemon franchise, and I definitely, outside of like Let's Go and Sword and Shield, I haven't played as much of the old ones, but I am so excited to play Diamond and Pearl remakes for the first time after this announcement. And then the main big blockbuster for me is going to be Pokemon Legends, because I definitely think that the Pokemon universe deserves this current style of a game and this new open world exploration. I think it goes hand in hand with what we want as Pokemon fans. So guys, for me, this event's a 10 out of 10. I'm super pumped to see these titles come out. They are the Diamond and Pearl remakes will be released at the end of this year, and the Pokemon Legends Arceus will be released at the beginning of 2022. So I would love to know your guys' thoughts and where your hype level is at and what you think now that we've got all this new information. But today is definitely a great day if you are a Pokemon fan. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all to leave me a comment. Let me know what your personal thoughts were on this event. How would you rate it as a 1 out of 10? Were you super pumped to see the Diamond and Pearl remakes, or were you more in the camp of that you were just too disappointed by the graphics and you didn't think that they put enough effort into this remake? Or, you know, were you more in the camp of like, you're just so happy to see it come to the Switch that you don't care either way? And then also let me know your opinion on the direction that Legends will go, and do you think that this is something that is the new standard for the mainline Pokemon games going forward, or do you think this is just a one-off side project and we will probably continue to see them do the more traditional style games moving forward for the mainline franchise? And then guys, before I do end the video, I just want to quickly invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out on this video if you enjoyed the content today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming and console news as we're in the new generation of gaming. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.